What's up guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a method which I came up with, which is going to turn the higher tiers of the pain boss into the easiest thing you'll ever fight. I'm talking about soloing tier 20 plus. And I'm not kidding, if you really don't believe me, just wait till the end of the video. I'll show you a fight with, I believe, a tier 14 and how much extra time that I had against him. But quickly, before I jump into this guide, I just want to say, if it does end up being really helpful, why not consider dropping a like and sub, because it shows your support. And currently my goal is to try and hit 5k subs by the end of September, so if you can help me get there, I'd really appreciate it. But anyways, enough of that, let's jump right into this. Now heading over to the power section, the first few powers which you are going to need are going to be in the chakra section, and they are going to be the Spirit Bomb and the Zero. Now preferably set their keys to really close to each other. For example, right now I have Spirit Bomb as I and Zero as O. And before you start asking why am I not mentioning Kamehameha, like that's really good against bosses, you'll eventually see why that it doesn't really fit that much into this method. But anyways, once you're done with the chakra, you want to immediately head over to sword. And over here, you're going to be needing the flying slash, the key slash, and the Getsuga Tensho. Now you want to pair up this Getsuga and the key slash together, so obviously set their keybinds as close as possible to make it easier for yourself. And then the flying slash, you're going to want to pair it up with the Conqueror's Haki. Now you may notice why, Conqueror's Haki and flying slash, they're not close to each other. Well, those were the keybinds that were given to me by default when I unlocked them from Boom, and I just felt comfortable with them. I didn't bother to change them. Obviously, you don't need to copy and paste my keybinds. You can find the ones that you are most comfortable with, as long as you make sure that the ones that I mentioned, the pairs are obviously paired together. Now, the final thing that is going to be in the power section is actually going to be the durability. You're going to want to have Hamon, but if you have any of the others, I would probably recommend getting Buzo, because it's actually not that worse than Hamon. It's only a 10% damage difference. But definitely, if it's available, make sure you have Hamon. Now, enough of powers. What about champions, specials, and accessories? Now, the champion I would recommend, it is a bit confusing. For example, as you can see at all these legendaries, they all have their own unique attributes to them. For example, the Cell gives 15% in strength and HP and whatnot. Pain gives a 30% increase to all chakra attacks and 25% increase to max HP. And then my Dracula gives me a 15% increase in damage for all sword skills. Now, if I had to choose between these three, I probably would pick the Pain simply because of its max HP. I'm not saying that the extra 30% increase to all chakra attacks is bad or anything, but I prefer max HP because once you get to the higher tiers, at least if you end up making a mistake, you might not get one hit, so obviously you'll get a second chance. But just to prove that, this method doesn't require a champion by force, I'm not going to have any equipped. Now, heading over to the inventory, you are going to notice that I do already have an imperfect Rinnegan. But again, I'm not going to use it just to prove that you don't need it or anything. Same thing for the accessories. For example, right now I have the Slayer mask on, which increases all my sword attacks. In fact, I'm going to unequip it just to show you that it's not a by force thing. But anyways, once you're prepared, you have all your keybinds set and whatnot, you're going to want to go here and obviously enter the arena. Now make sure that you have your sword equipped and your Hamon on, or your Buzo, and you're going to want to follow my steps. So the first thing that you need to do is dodge whatever attack he's going to do. So for example, right there, he had a little circle around him, so an area attack. At the moment he does it and you dodge, you want to do a Spirit Bomb followed by a Zero. Now you may have noticed that I did get hit when I did that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how it's supposed to work. So you dodge, you do the Spirit Bomb, jump up a little bit, followed by the Zero, spam it a little bit, and then you have just enough time to dodge the attack. And once you do that, you want to immediately follow it up once he attacks again, and you dodge with both the Getsuga and the key slash, and then dodge again. And then once you use those, you want to use your flying slash and your Conqueror's Haki, and then once again you want to immediately dodge away. Now, to show you how it's supposed to work without getting hit, because obviously in the higher tiers getting hit once is an instant death sentence, this is how it's supposed to go. So you dodge the attack, do a Spirit Bomb followed by a Zero, then you want to dodge away, and then once he attacks, do that, all these slashes, I forgot the names completely, I'm sorry by the way. And then once again he does his attack, and then you go up a little bit close to him and you're going to use your Conqueror's Haki, and as you can see, I had enough time to get away and I took 0 damage and half his health is gone. So yeah, that's really it. This method kind of explains the amount of time that you are given between his attacks. I've seen a lot of guides on YouTube where they kind of just, they wait for him to attack, and then for example they'll use a Kamehameha, and then that's really it. You're not actually doing that much damage when you just do a Kamehameha, or if you just do a Zero for example and then you immediately run away. The order at which I kind of made these powers gives it enough time for the cooldowns to run out, so by the time you use it again, the cooldowns would have finished. And keep in mind, I don't have the 25% reduction cooldown or anything. I'm completely free to play at the moment. Now, I did run out of time, so obviously that's why I lost. I was kind of focusing on talking. But yeah, just to prove that this method does work on the top tier of these paints, I'm going to show you a game right now. Now, in the following clip, you're going to be seeing me taking on a tier 14. Now, keep in mind, this is a voiceover. When I had this fight, it was like 2 AM in the morning, so you're probably going to be seeing me making quite a few mistakes because I was really tired. Now, as you're seeing the fight going on, you are going to notice how I am being really efficient in my movement. The moment he attacks, I immediately punish it. And once again, it just shows how good this combo of attacks are, because as you can see, every single time that my final pair finishes, I immediately have enough time to get away. And in fact, I think I have so much time to get away that there might even be a slight bit of extra time to fit in a third attack, but I wouldn't recommend it because obviously it's going to require such precision and timing that most of the time, especially if you're doing this method for the first time, you're probably going to get hit, and if you're at the higher tiers, you're going to get 1 hit and you're going to lose immediately. And also keep in mind, if you do kind of lose focus and you kind of forget what's the next pair, it is fine. If needs be, let an attack go through and just wait for the first one, so the Spirit Bomb and the Zero, to reach their final bit of the cooldown, and then start from the beginning. I think in this run that happens to me and I was still able to defeat him. So it just shows that even without a perfect run, you're still going to have quite a lot of time to win. Now, I think a few things which I didn't do in this run is, for example, when you do the Spirit Bomb and the Zero, it probably would be best to kind of jump a little bit, because obviously when you're in the air, it's a bit easier to aim both of those attacks. But even if you're on the ground, as you can see, I'm still doing perfectly fine. Now, even though this wasn't a perfect run, as you can see, there is 12 seconds left, and you might not think that is a lot, but it actually really is. The reason is because 10 seconds is enough time, if I'm not mistaken, to do a full-on cycle. So the first pair, the second pair, the third pair. And keep in mind, I have beaten a tier 14 before, and I had a whole extra 30 seconds left before the time finished. So yeah, in my opinion, that just proves that obviously tier 20 and above is actually possible. And even if it isn't, as the game is going to continue updating, they're going to add new skills, new powers and whatnot, which are just going to make, this method even more efficient. And I'm pretty sure that this method can still be optimized to do even more damage by using either more powers or being faster or whatnot, especially if you use the specials or the fruits or the boss specials. But the whole point of this method was just to show you that even if you have nothing, you can still easily solo the pain boss with this method. And obviously, once you unlock everything that you can get in this boss, such as the pain champion or his special Rinnegan, you can then test those out and then see how you can implement them into the current strategy. Just make sure that you're not wasting any time and you're always using every single bit of him just not attacking and just running around. It's just you going to be punishing him and doing so much damage. Now, I hope that this guide was really helpful, because apart from all the specials and champions and whatnot that you can get from this boss, it is a really good source of, coins and most importantly, the Chikara shards. For example, I got 164k from around 30 minutes of grinding this boss. But to be truly honest, I believe some of those rounds were with other people, because obviously if you are in a public server and then someone else joins you, then there's not much that you can really do. But yeah, this is just to show you that even once you get everything that this pain boss can possibly give you, it's still worth grinding it. So yeah, that's going to be it from me. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to show your support for it, like and sub. I say this in every single one of my videos. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.